Hey y'all.
Hey y'all, it is the light of the Leo and my brother Jojo Speaks, aka Jojo the homie, my brother, and so much more to me and some other people.
Yes.
Thank you so much for thank you for joining us. We
Jennifer,
are
you are a vibe right now. Like you're a total vibe right now. I
I
love it.
appreciate it. I'm here for it. I'm happy you're here for it. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And I just
Let us
want y'all
do
to
it.
join us, feel this energy, and to heighten my energy. I'm gonna get this music going
Yes, that will
so
definitely help both of us.
we can flow with this. You know what I'm saying? I think that might be an issue we both have. We work better with music.
We do. We definitely do. Absolutely. Absolutely. Music playing in the background is always a soothing thing, and it kind of
Okay.
keeps things going. And it takes the thickness out of the room. It
Cause
leaves everything easy.
cause it be so thick to me.
Right.
It's like too
Yeah.
much going on.
Yeah.
Well, not enough going on. That's what it really should be saying. But
Okay.
anywho, I'm sorry, Jonathan. You know Tony Talks, the one that was acting like he was an administrator in a school and
Yeah,
stuff.
I think so. I've heard his name
Hey Tony
before.
TV, not Tony Talks. Hey Tony TV, and right now he's acting like he's doing tarot on live on TikTok with Uno
Oh,
cards.
wow. With Uno cards? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. That is hilarious.
Oh gosh. Oh
I
gosh. But
have to see that. Oh my
it looks
goodness.
like they are having some fun. That's my only thing
It's
about the lives. Hopefully he clips the lives or somebody clips the
right.
lives.
And you must send those clips to me because I need to see that.
Yeah,
Uh-oh. Did
yeah, I'm gonna
Tyrone
have to
step
find.
into the room?
Yeah, yes, sir. Oh, you saw it too. Oh, that's doing the Uno card tarot. Oh, you follow him? Oh, he said he watching it too. He says it's hilarious.
Okay, well let's get to this video, girl,
So we can
because
get to that.
okay.
Anyway, once again, please forgive me. We are out of bounds right now. We are digging into Heartbreak High, not high
Yes.
school high, like I really wanted
No.
to say.
Right.
Heartbreak High. Let's
Yes.
go through this episode. I just want to let you guys know when I was done watching this particular episode today while I was at work. Don't tell nobody.
Hmm.
Um, my brother received a message of text.
Yes.
We'll talk about that later. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Right.
Take it
But I'll
away.
go ahead and read what the text was, and then you
Well,
can give some insight as to what the text comes from.
yeah.
The text stated, "I'm over it!" Exclamation point. I can't stand kids.
I sounded
It's so
horrible.
it's
I
so
didn't even
interesting
say
that you
like at
said
least
that.
high schoolers.
Right. Yeah, that's probably what you
I
I
should have
think
said high schoolers.
yeah, yeah. But anyways, we're on episode 4, you guys. So this
Ooh.
episode starts out with Malachi and Amarie basking in the ocean. They're at the beach having a wonderful time, kissing and whatnot, just doing all the lovey-dovey stuff that new couples would
Yeah.
do. They then Malachi then walks Amarie home. And Malachi was like, how was last night? You know what I'm saying? How did a brother do? Amory sort of kind of gave him his props in a sideways kind of way. Didn't really want to, I guess, blow up his head, but whatever. Anyway, so Malachi tried to kiss Amory, but she was like, my mom's still up, so won't be none of that at all.
Yeah, she
None of
got
that.
it because you heard her mama. You don't want none of that
Okay, mama don't play. Okay.
at all.
Amory, you're not even supposed to be out this gosh darn house. What you doing outside? Okay.
Um, nothing.
I'm with my man, Mama. I'm with my man. Okay.
Ciao.
So, anyways, we see Quinny and Darren, our favorites, or my favorites at least. They're walking to
Our
school.
favorites.
Yeah. Okay. So our favorites, wonderful. I'm glad that we got that established.
Hmm.
And we passed by a poster that's rainbow colored. I think it's a fist as well. And so we have ourselves what they call Mardi Gras. Uh, I guess Mardi Gras is a pride type of celebration for them in
Child,
Australia.
I guess, and because they kept on saying Mardi Gras, and it's
Right.
like, hold up, I said, what does this have to do with Mardi Gras? I'm very confused as to what this is. As you're going through this, I'm going to just Google Australian Mardi Gras to see if there's a
Please
definite
do.
definition. Let's look into this.
Please do. And so, anyways, there are rainbows everywhere. And I absolutely adore the fact that this school is embracing LGBTQIA culture. Let me say that again. I adore the fact that this school is embracing LGBTQIA plus culture. I don't know if we would necessarily see this in America. I don't know if this actually is seen in Australia per se. I don't know if they actually do this type of thing. Oh,
Google
Jennifer, go
works
ahead.
really fast. I have answers.
Okay.
So all I typed in was Australian Mardi Gras.
Okay.
And it immediately said Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras. So it looks like Mardi Gras for them is just an opportunity to celebrate. I think it's like a really elaborate pride. That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like. And it sounds like a whole bunch of fun. And that's probably why they call it Mardi Gras, because it's all about the FUN, honey. Okay.
Yeah.
So then Marie walks up
I
to
thought you were about to
Darren.
cuss. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I like to keep the cursing to a minimum on these videos, honey. I
You
can't let
said
these
it's all
people.
about the FUN. I'm like, FUOON, fun. That's what
Yes, FUN. I was going to ask you what word you thought I was spelling out, but we ain't got to go there. Okay, not
you don't
until
have
after
to.
the show.
You don't have to.
So Marie walks up, or rather runs up behind Darren and Quinny. She's in very, very good spirits. I wonder why. Okay.
Okay.
And so she's like, "Oh, what were you guys doing last night? What I was doing, honey. I was losing my V card, honey. I gave it up. I gave it up to Malachi." Yes, and Darren and Quinny, they're a little bit surprised because Emery had said that she was not going to touch or think about penis. She was going to be slapping herself, and
Child,
apparently she was
what
weak.
made y'all think she was gonna be able to hold on to that one?
Child,
Child.
I don't know, but then Marie says, it's nothing serious. You know what I'm saying? We're not in a relationship. We're not actually together. You know what I'm saying? It was just a bunch of fun. As they're walking into the courtyard, they then see Malachi right smack dead in the middle, holding flowers and a balloon. What were your thoughts
Be
when you
my
saw?
girlfriend. I said this is why we have conversations.
Right, exactly.
This is why we have to talk. This is why after they were done, they should have had a really good conversation of what they want. So he wouldn't do something that he thought that would be very sweet and endearing to get
Because it
married.
was sweet, wasn't it? Like,
It
isn't
was
that
very
such a sweet
sweet.
gesture? But I don't think Marie definitely. It's not that I don't think. I know Marie was not expecting that. And it goes to show that you really can't pop up on people like that,
You
especially in a
can,
public setting in front of the entire school.
man.
That's a bit much, Malachi. I love you. I really do. You're so sweet.
You're
You
cute.
really
You're
are.
sweet and
One of
wonderful.
my favorite characters, top 3 for sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that was reaching. That was reaching. So she does accept the flowers and the balloon, but she doesn't answer his question, not necessarily directly. Then Dusty approaches Amory. He's like, "Oh, so you and Malachi are a thing, huh? So how's that going? I'm happy for you." And then he thanks her for giving him advice on how to get closer
really
to Harper.
helped.
It really helped, okay? And clearly Amory's plan backfired right up on that ass, okay?
Okay, yes.
So then we have Amory tells Quinny and Darren that she's really not that interested in Malachi, and the only reason why she went over to his place was because the whole thing with Harper going over to her house and just apologizing for sleeping with Dusty and not giving her any more information concerning the reason why she's upset with Amory. Are you understanding why Amory really isn't interested in Malachi like that?
She didn't see Malachi as that dude. When you are really hooked on somebody,
Fixated.
everybody
She's fixated
is
on
like
Dusty.
nobody else is like a prospect or an opportunity.
Not
You
even in
just
your
don't see it.
peripheral vision.
Nah, she just never saw it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, so Darren and Quinny tell Amory, we gotta get some good stuff for this sleigh ball. There's a sleigh ball that's
Drugs?
happening later either that night or the next night. So we need to get some MDMA, honey. And so Darren's like, "Oh well, drug dealer, we got it. Okay, cash, honey. He got the drugs. Okay, we got the money.
We have the
Okay,
supply.
and Darren also says that Cash may be joining them to the sleigh ball, and Quinny and Marie are surprised by this revelation that Cash is all of a sudden going to be joining them and seems to be a part of their group. And Quinny turns around and is like, "You like Cash? Cash?" And Darren's like, "No, ew, no, I don't."
That's
and
a good friend.
Marie's like, Mm.
Hmm.
She said, "How long? Okay, how long have you liked this man?" And Jared's like, "I don't know,
Energy, honey.
maybe like a couple weeks ago, but I'm looking to see where it goes, so that's why I invited him." What did you think of? I thought that scene was so cute with Quinny realizing that Darren is interested in Cash.
I think it was just so cute. I really enjoyed the moment when she realized that that's what was going on. Any good
Right,
friend will be able to see, hey, you like him, because it's not like he having everybody else around, and
right.
especially being that he says, okay, come on, like he's cool with coming around. It's like, okie dokie.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
actually okay with being seen with them, and that's a little bit surprising to me.
Hmm.
But we'll see more of that as time goes on. So then we get into the nurse's office, and we see two people underneath a huge cover, and it's our girls Quinny and Sasha. They're doing a little makeout session. I probably skipping class if I'm not if I'm being real for real.
These children don't go to school. No wonder that
No.
woman didn't want to hire nobody from that school.
Okay, because these kids do not attend class unless it's sexual education, honey.
That's
Okay,
okay.
because they are all present and accounted
Okay,
for
and
in that
accounted for up
class.
in there, every
Okay,
single one of them, for sure.
anyways, Quinny invites Sasha to Darren's for their pregame. They're going to pregame before the sleigh ball at Darren's house. And Sasha agrees. She's like, "Yeah, cool. So who's going to be there?" And Quinny's like, "Well, Marie, Darren. Oh, and Cash is going to be there as well." And you see a little bit of resistance in Sasha's face. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And so, excuse me. Then Sasha begins to like flirt a little bit more with Quinny. And
Hmm.
Quinny's like, "Are we about to have sex in the nurse's office?" And Sasha's like, well, only if you want to. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. Sasha's really good with boundaries. I will give her that. She's really, really good with boundaries. I think sometimes she's overthinks her boundaries from time to time, but she's trying her best, and I can appreciate that at least.
Absolutely,
Um,
she's considerate, being extra considerate. How about that?
Very much so, extra considerate with Quinny. And Quinny says, "You know what? Let's just wait for it. There's no rush." And so I really like the fact that Quinny's not not like her best friend Darren, who well, I won't say that about Darren, but anyways, yes.
Is and that's okay.
Yeah, it is what it is. And so let's see. Oh, so then we get to the locker room, and we have the boys basketball team, and Dusty, because Dusty's not on the basketball team, so I don't know why he's in the locker room, probably skipping class like everybody else.
Hmm.
Anyways, so the boys are having boy chat, you know what I'm saying, and they're congratulating Malachi for finally getting a girlfriend, and Dusty asked, of course, it's Dusty that asked this
Of
question.
course, it's Dusty.
Dusty asked Malachi the question of the day. Did you hit my
And this
dude,
is what
my
bothers me. It's
homeboy?
like he gives Malachi gave off the whole vibe like, look, I'm not trying to talk about this. Could y'all like back off?
Right.
But like once again, Dusty and his dense behind, like oof, child.
Yeah. And so he eventually kind of leads them to believe that he has hit it. He didn't come out and say that he did have sex with Marie, but they sort of kind of figured it out on their own.
Because he wasn't
And
talking.
right. So, and Spider, did you notice Spider's reaction to this news? And did you notice
Of
that
course, he was upset. He was pissed.
he was pissed, wasn't he? It seems like he has some feelings on the underneath that he doesn't want to show. But
And
anyway,
he don't
so
need to show it. We don't care.
well, yeah, it's true. We don't care. He's an a-hole. So, anyways, they ask him, well, did you use a condom? And he's like, No, we didn't use a condom. And they were like, oh, so you must have pulled out. And he said, well, yeah, well, I had to pull out because she was on top. And Malachi really kind of stumbles into giving this information because the boys are not stopping asking him
They won't
questions.
let off.
They will not let off. And so it's what dudes do. I mean, what else do you expect? So
And it's like, I don't know. I guess he just didn't see any option for himself just to maybe even just walk away or just like,
yeah, because then if he
it
were
was
to
a
walk
lot.
away, then they would question his masculinity. because masculinity is very much involved with sexual prowess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that there's that. So we're in our sluts class. Marie invites Malachi to the sleigh ball to go with her and her good Judies. Okay, and so then we have Jojo, the teacher of this particular class, walks in with two police officers, and they're going to be doing some groups with the class today. So one of the officers says that he got injured while on duty, and Darren raises his hand and he said, "Oh, well, were you injured by over policing? What was it called? Were you were you injured by over policing a
Is it
wait a minute, what does
marginalized?
it say? Oh, over policing marginalized communities. I'm sorry, I can't even read my own handwriting. Not own
Child,
handwriting,
you
but
and me the same.
anyway, and he says no. In fact, no, not at all. But then the classroom separates into two groups: the boys and the girls. And then JoJo, either JoJo or the principal, told Darren that Darren can go with either group that they choose to go with. And so
Hmm.
the girls, they're getting a tutorial on how to combat sexual assault, or SA. I don't think you can say sexual assault on YouTube, but how to combat SA, and it's called Rack Off. And so the cop who's throwing this thing for these girls,
Child.
he asked for a volunteer to show them some self-defense moves so that they can be able to defend themselves when it comes to the SA. And so he calls on Harper, although Harper is sitting in the back, minding her own business, flicking her lighter. She does not want to be involved
Really
with the
unhappy.
teaching whatsoever. She is really unhappy. We don't know why she's unhappy,
Child.
but you know that's anybody's guess. And so he calls her up to the front and he grabs her by the wrist. And as he starts to say the weakness is the thumb, she has some type of reaction. The camera work shows us she has some type of reaction to this. I think it's taking her back to a certain place, and she grabs her lighter and she burns the cop. What did you think of that scene and how she reacted to being volunteered in this demonstration?
In this scene, I can. It was apparent that she was triggered by a possible past situation. I think it certainly has to do with the reason why she don't like Amory no more.
Right. Yeah, probably does. And so then we head on over to the boys and see what the boys are being taught today. And it turns out they're being taught a whole bunch of nothing.
Nothing. Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. We're doing push-ups. Where the cop is grabbing in his crotch area to pull out
Hey
his
man.
phone. Like, sir, like, why are you doing this? Like, what is
When
your
they
point?
when they
What
could have
is
been
the
having a real talk about consent, they could have been having a real talk about if a girl says no, that means no. You should be man enough to walk away, even if y'all both buck naked. And you know what I'm saying? They should have been
okay?
having those kind of conversations because, and then they could even be talking about how sexual assault, oh gosh, SA can be happening to them as well
Right?
because sometimes they don't understand that they can boot a woman in the chest because they over there trying to get up on it.
Exactly. Trying to jump on it.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
So, anyways, we get back into the classroom, and JoJo asks everyone, "Okay, so give me some ideas on what you guys learned during your groups." And um, uh, uh, Ant gives some. Well, I think Sasha explains
Sasha spoke up first.
something about racking off, and then Ant raises his hand and he says something off kilter. I don't really remember, but it shows that they weren't taught anything at all.
Nothing.
And Sasha's like, wait a minute, y'all didn't get the same SA that we did, the same SA demonstration that we did. And Spider goes on to say, we don't need to learn about consent. We already understand those things. We understand that no means no. And, you know, and then he alludes to Malachi being the pullout
King.
king,
Mm-hmm.
and ask Marie how she feels about that. What did you think of Spider spilling the beans?
He need to go ahead and get about his feelings.
Agreed. We don't know what those feelings are just yet, but
Oh, we can see something. There are
yeah.
feelings there.
Yeah, so Marie is absolutely pissed. She is so upset. And then Harper suggests that Spider climb a spout because it's the only way that he'll get his penis wet. I thought that was a good comeback.
Yeah, that was funny.
I thought that was really
But
good.
shoot, Marie, she ain't want to have her ex friend take up for her though.
Yes, she said that when they came outside, Harper went straight. I'm sorry, Amory went straight to Harper and said, "I don't need you to stick up for me anymore." And Spider suggests that they fight again. What, like Spider? Like, why are you here? Why are you here? I don't. Spider is so
And it's like I understand why he's doing what he's doing because he wants to be seen so much. And it's like,
yeah,
sir, it's not working out the way that I think you want it to work out. This is not
yeah.
it.
Right. And so then, after Spider says that you two guys should go fight, we get a flashback to the festival. And turns out Spider was at the festival. And
Mm-hmm.
he wants to, kind of hang around the girls a little bit. And Harper then declined, said, "No, we don't want to be around you, F boy. Okay, so get away. Shoot,
And
fly,
then
don't
he
bother me.
offered
Okay."
beers. He said it might be roofies in them. That was it.
Okay. No, we don't know what you're up to, boy. And so then we have Harper and Dusty. They're in the library. They're kind of, Harper's got her legs on Dusty, and they're kind of doing their couple thing. And Harper asks, "Do you ever talk about our sex lives with the boys?" And Dusty's like, "No, I'm not that type of dude." Even though he's carrying on the conversation, he's the one that is introducing the conversation to the crowd.
Of
But
course.
he doesn't mention what him and Harper do. Do you believe him that he doesn't talk about what him and Harper do?
No,
Because
I
we
believe
haven't
it.
seen him do it.
I believe he knows how to keep his mouth shut because they see him as up here
Right.
and they're not going to push him.
You're
So
right about that.
no, he doesn't have to talk about it. But the position that Malachi holds there, he's not really popular. He doesn't have a
Right.
whole lot of friends, so he was
hmm
pressured into saying something.
Yeah. So then we see Darren and Cash. They're walking through the library as well. And Cash asks Darren, "What's your next class?" Darren says, they have drama next. Cash says what class he's going to next, and he asks Darren if they want to go skip. And Darren's like, "Well, I've skipped all my other classes today, so why not? What's one
They
more,
do
child?"
not go to school.
They
They
do not
they
go
come
to
to school to meet
school.
up with each other. That's what they do.
Okay, it's a
Okay,
party, honey. It's a gathering of the
every single
teens.
day,
So
child.
every single day, honey. So then Malachi tries to approach Marie, as if he doesn't understand why she would be upset with him, because he comes to her so cavalierly. He comes to her like nothing's wrong. Um, and so he's like, I'm sorry, but you know how the guys are, and they kind of pressure me into the conversation. And Marie wants him to put his foot down. And really apologize for what he did. And she said, if that's your apology, because he sort of kind of tried to apologize, but she kind of stopped him in his tracks and said, if that's your apology, then the answer to your question of you going out with me or me going out with you is a big fat
But
no.
he just didn't have the right words. That's all.
No, he didn't. And so then we have a scene where not Cash, Darren is getting off. Well, not getting off work, but Darren is at work, and Cash is waiting for a delivery. And so Darren hands Cash the bag. It's got food in it, but it also has money in it. This is the money that he's giving Cash, or they're giving Cash, for the drugs that they need to take on a little bit later. And Cash gives Darren some Morse code in a way, I guess, and pretty much said that the block is hot, so I'll
Mhm.
get you your stuff, at another time.
Mhm.
Darren's like, "I have no idea what you're saying, but it sounds like you're saying that we can't do this now." And Cash was like, "Precisely." So then one of Cash's younger hoodlum friends comes over.
Yo, let me tell you something. That be kind of situation make you want to put backhand on people. You hear me?
What type of situation?
That little boy.
Yeah, Darren says, because the little boy, as you said, told Cash that the leader of their gang wants to talk to him, and Darren is like, "Is that infant speaking to you? Okay, is that child, that newborn speaking to you, Cash?" And then the newborn says, "What a flamer!" Were you surprised that Cash didn't stick up for Darren in that moment?
No, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Kids, they're
Yeah.
stupid. Okay, I'm sorry. They're not all stupid. But they be saying stuff and don't know what they're talking about or don't know what they're doing or how it affects other people or don't think about how it affects other people.
Right.
And for him to say that, it's like, what you gonna say to that? Unless, you just put the backhand to him.
Right, exactly. So then Cash goes over to the leader of the gang. He asks him, "All right, so were you able to sell the merchandise? You know, where's the money at for the merchandise?" As if it's his money that they all stole together. But anyways, he's asking Cash about this, and that. And Cash
Oh,
is like, "Well, you know, the
child.
bag. Somebody took the bag, and so you know, I'll be able to get your money still, but you know, I don't have it right now." And you know, the leader is very upset at this moment, and then he gets a peach drink from the little boy.
Yeah,
And
he
apparent
he got peach kombucha.
peach kombucha. Okay, I didn't even know what it was. Hey, and the leader said, "I wanted lemonade," and he throws the kombucha to the wall. And Cash is trying to stick up for this little boy.
Yeah.
Um, and what does he get for that? The leader punches him square in the face.
But he wasn't even coming at him like that though. He's like,
He
"Hey,
wasn't
chill." It wasn't even.
right.
But child, I don't like it all. Go ahead.
No, I don't either. And he threatens Cash, and he's like, you know, get me, stop talking. You gonna lose my bag, and then talk ish to me. You better get me my motherfucking money. We don't like the leader of the gang at all.
We don't like
We
anybody in the game. We don't like gangs. Okay.
no, we don't.
I'm a need for our friend. He is our friend Cash.
He is.
He's a good person. He needs to get about the gangs.
Yes, get about the game. That's what he needs to do.
The
Get about the game.
game.
Right. So then we see Cash in the bathroom. We see that he has a black
Black
eye.
eye. Yeah.
And he starts crying. What were you feeling for Cash in this moment, Jennifer?
All badness, and I kept on. Just fast forward. I don't
Do,
like this.
do you enjoy Cash? Do you like him as a
I
character?
like Cash. Cash is cool. Though he is selling drugs, he's never been really disrespectful to anybody. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Exactly.
He's been doing his thing. He hasn't been bothering nobody. And the worst, if he was like Spider, then I'd be spitting on him. You know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
that's not him. He's a
Right.
decent dude.
Absolutely. So then we're at Darren's crib, Darren's dad's crib rather, and Darren and A. Marie are talking about boys, and of course
You
we're
know, you
talking
got me
about
thinking about Darren's dance grooves. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
what is that?
Darren's dance grooves.
I've heard of that before.
So he was the dude that choreographed for Britney, NSYNC, Boys. I mean,
Yes,
and he had
Darren's
that video
that video.
called Darren's Dance Grooves.
Gotcha.
I keep on thinking
Okay.
about that whenever I say Darren. Sorry.
Gotcha. It's okay. It's totally fine. So, of course, Darren and Marie are talking about Malachi and how he's effed up their relationship or whatever they had going on. Meanwhile, Quinny is getting text messages from Sasha. Sasha saying that she's over at Missy's and she's gotten a little caught up over there. So she'll just see her at the sleigh ball. Of course, Quinny is upset
Mm-hmm.
with this because
I
Sasha
don't
did
like
say
it
that she would come over. And you don't like it because
because she ain't being a woman of her word. I'm about to say a lesbian of her word.
a lady lover of her word. Yes, she's breaking the code, honey. So then Cash comes over to Darren's house. He's wearing sunglasses, and Darren's like, coming over here to selling drugs and sunglasses isn't cliche, is it? It's basically saying that it is cliche. And so then Cash removes his glasses, and Darren notices his black eye. And Darren's like, "Oh, wait, are you okay? Like, how did that happen?" And then Darren asked, what was it, that shorty doo-wop that did it to you? He was like, no, it was, he said the leader of the gang's name. I don't remember his name, don't care
Yeah,
about his name,
we don't
doesn't
care.
matter. And Darren's like, I thought you guys were friends. And he's like, "Oh, well, we just grew up together. So
That's
apparently
about it.
yeah, exactly. So he feels entitled to be friends with them and to go along
Or
with
help.
whatever it is that they're
Mm-hmm.
doing. Meanwhile, Malachi comes over to Darren's house as well. And how did he get the address? Well, it's our
Yeah,
good
that's a good
old
question.
pal, good old Libra Quinny. Quinny's the one that
Yes,
sent
she's
Malachi
the
the
one
address.
that coached, and yeah,
Exactly. So
her
Malachi
sweet
comes over.
behind. She's so sweet.
Isn't she? That's a Libra for you, honey. That is a Libra for you, girl. And so then Amory's really not here for Malachi.
At
And
all.
Quinny says, "Well, Malachi would like to apologize to you." And Quinny wanted to leave the room. She
She
she didn't want
tried.
to. She really did. Amory had to sit her down 2 or 3 times. No, no, girl, you gonna stay here
You gonna
right
let this
now.
child go?
And
Please.
right. And so Malachi gives this whole speech, which was actually all written on his hand,
Mm-hmm.
and he
I'm
sincerely.
surprised she didn't notice that that was the case because
Do you think she didn't notice, or she just didn't say anything?
I
Because he
don't
literally
know.
looked at his hand while he was saying what he was saying.
I don't know. But
But
they
it
take, but you know, the teenagers they take everything to the next level for everything. So I was surprised she didn't say anything about that.
Right, exactly. And so, anyways, excuse me, Malachi gives this pretty good apology. He says that he understands what he did to her, and he wasn't thinking about her feelings when he was going off about what they did with the boys. And it was very well written apology. And I'm thinking Quinny might have helped him with the wording a
Might
little
have.
bit.
I think it's word for word. That's what Quinny said. This is what you should say. Write this down in your hand so you can be prepared. And
Right.
here you go. That's how that
Exactly.
happened.
And after he finishes, Quinny gives him two thumbs up. I love Quinny. I really do. And so then Darren comes out of the kitchen because he was in the kitchen. They were in the kitchen with Cash. And Darren asked Malachi, "So do you want something gay to wear?"
Um,
And Malachi obliges.
all right.
And so we're pre-gaming, we're drinking, we're throwing back shots or whatever. Then we get to Harper and Dusty. Harper and Dusty are at one of their houses. We do, I'm guessing it.
I
It
think
looks like it might have
it's
been
her
Harper.
house.
It looks like
It's her house because
Harper's
she was
room.
looking for her shoes there.
Exactly. There you go. And so they're, being lovey-dovey. Well, not lovey-dovey just yet because she's looking for her shoes initially, and she can't find them. And then she, gets onto Dusty's lap and they start kissing. And he tells her, nobody will be looking at your shoes because you're so beautiful. And then she
It
tells him, "You're so beautiful." And then they kiss. And then she remembers, "I know where my shoes are." Then we get
mm,
to the party, to the sleigh ball. Okay, and I can actually do the rest of this without notes. We get to the sleigh ball, and the girls, I mean just our group, the girls,
the
honey.
girls.
We're coming up. Did you notice the outfits that these kids were wearing to the sleigh ball? I have to say, my favorite outfit was Dusty. I absolutely loved his top.
It did look nice, yeah.
His shirt
That
was
mesh top.
it was everything. It was everything to me. I absolutely loved it.
Hmm.
And it's really heartwarming that someone who presents as heterosexual is able to get into the gay stuff and participate while doing so. So I really love that.
Yeah, seeing the whole situation really was something different for us.
Wasn't it? Because I don't think I've
Yeah,
ever seen a gathering like that of teenagers
I
before
know.
celebrating LGBTQIA plus
Whether you're
things.
gay or
So
straight.
right, exactly, because the room was mixed. When I tell you it was mixed, it was mixed. Like a little bit of
Hmm.
everybody was there. Probably it was probably more of a school thing, if anything,
Yeah,
since they
that's what it
do.
seemed like.
Right, exactly. Malachi is also sporting one of Darren's skirts. Did you notice that as well?
Yes, I did see
He
that.
he opened his shirt up a button about 4 or 5 buttons, so it's all the way down to his navel. And he's wearing one of Darren's skirts. Darren is also has on this sequin see-through top mesh top with this do rag. He looks really cute. By the way, Darren was wearing a thong and showing it
Yeah.
earlier in this episode.
Oh
A
yeah.
thong, child.
Up to here. Yeah.
All the straps
Okay.
were visible, honey. Okay, letting
Absolutely.
everybody know. Okay, there's a piece of string going through my crack right now, in case you didn't know, honey.
Yeah,
Okay,
just to verify and clarify.
okay, just so you know. So we get into the ball, and there's some voguing going on the stage. And what I noticed is that I don't know if you noticed this, know this, but in the ballroom scene, when there's voguing going on, and you're anticipating a dip, whenever the dip happens, you do like this, and we
Hmm.
saw a lot of that in the room. Even Dusty did that, and I was like, wow! So these people are educated on the ballroom scene. And it's
Scene.
so interesting that in Australia, they know about this stuff that started in the
Yeah.
underground in New York. That is so amazing to me. How do you
It
feel about them embracing ballroom in
Well,
Australia?
to be honest, it's not surprising to me because not trying to place America on a pedestal or anything, but for this particular topic, yes, there are quite a few things that the world has embraced that has begun in America, everything from hip hop to, the different scenes that we have out here in America. And I do believe those things bleed out into the rest of the world. But the way that they took hold of it, it really makes me wonder like how real that is, that literally everybody is
Right.
on board to be at that celebration. I need to, if
Everybody.
anybody is watching from the Grand Australia, okay, the
Okay.
continent, okay,
Fill us in.
hit us up.
Okay, like
Put it in
Craig
the
David
comment.
said, can you fill
Fi-
me
Wait, hold
in?
on. Can you feel the sand? But yes, I need to know. Okay, so what is kind of baffling us is that everybody, whether they present gay or straight, was in the
Everybody
space.
was in there.
So that's not something that we see too often. There's not a whole lot of people out here that are strong enough to come to the ballroom scene, and they know they
Right.
are, masculine men, and they're not trying, but they don't feel like they're being pressured into doing anything like that.
And
So
they don't feel emasculated by just being in the presence of LGBTQIA plus
yeah.
people.
And we don't see that a whole lot.
Especially not
So
in America, because we gays, we're used to our straight girlfriends coming with us to the gay club. We're used
yeah,
to them hanging out with us, but we're not used to seeing the heterosexual men participating as well. So
nah.
that was so amazing for me to see, and I absolutely love
So
that.
I need to know if that's real life, y'all. Let
I,
us know.
I, I do too, because
Mm.
ballroom was something that was started by minorities in the LGBTQIA plus community in underground New York, and so for these Australian people who are majority white, they are
Hmm.
embracing ballroom. That's so amazing. But I
Something
think it's
else.
because ballroom is so integral in the LGBTQIA plus community, and so
Yeah.
because it's something that we're used to. They
And
probably
that's
just picked up on it somewhere along the way.
another reason why, like Drag Race and all that stuff is so huge out there as well.
In over 20 countries. Like
Yeah.
Drag Race is I downloaded Wow Presents for about a month or so I could see Drag Race UK. There are so many iterations of Drag Race, it's ridiculous. It really is. But anyways,
RuPaul
we
making
didn't
money. Go ahead.
okay, okay. His name everywhere in lights, honey. Child, that's how you gotta get a come up.
Okay. Got
Anyways,
to do it.
so then we see Sasha. Sasha's looking, not Sasha, Quinny. Quinny's looking for Sasha, and she hears Sasha in this bathroom stall, and she knocks on the stall. She's like, "Sasha, is that you in there?" And so we see that Sasha's in there with Missy, her ex, by the way, if y'all didn't know that. Excuse me. And they're doing a little bit of what seems to be cocaine. They're sniffing it,
Cocaine.
so I'm assuming that it's coke. And
We're, we're,
so
we're not familiar with the drugs.
no, we're not yeah, we're not. Anyways, so then Sasha's like, oh, it's just a little something something, and Missy's like, yeah, this is that good stuff, girl. It is that good stuff. And Missy offers Quinny some, and Sasha's like, no, she don't want to do none of that. Quinny's like, how do you know I don't want to do none of that? And Sasha says, well, it might mess up your medication. It
Mess with your
might
meds. Yeah.
have an adverse effect with your medication, which is a smart thing to think about. What did you think of Sasha making Quinny's decision for her in that moment?
I thought it was nice, but it still was having her make the decision for her, which might not be the best thing for her.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This scene sort of made me a little sad for Quinny because I love Quinny so much, and you see the disappointment in her face. First of all, she was disappointed when they got to the sleigh ball because Sasha had bailed on her to begin with. So Quinny hasn't been in a good mood since the pregame, since she got those text messages from Sasha
Yeah, not
earlier in the
totally.
day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so then we get back into the party. Did you notice Cash's dancing skills?
Horrible.
Darren was just standing there staring at him like, what are you doing, boy? What are you doing?
What is he doing?
As Alexander Rogers would say, what is this?
What is
Okay.
this?
What are you doing? Like, I love Cash though. I love it.
Be
It
free,
was
move your body, I guess.
right, exactly, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's doing a lot of a lot of this, a lot of gyrating and percolating, honey. And then
Percolating.
Then we see Spider. He walks by Cash, gives him that crazy look, like he notices it too. And then Spider goes to dance with Ant. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
We'll leave that there. Anyways, so
Oh,
then
all I
Malik.
got these are sexually fluid children. That's all I know. Go ahead.
Okay,
These are some people that understand there's a spectrum out here in these streets.
a spectrum. A
Oh
spectrum.
gosh.
Yes. Okay. And so Malachi and Missy chat. I think they're of the same ethnicity. And Missy's like, it's great to have another brother around because, apparently they're few and far between when it comes to Australia. Go
So
ahead.
I did my homework as we were talking about this just now.
Oh, okay.
So I had to Google the ethnicity of Malachi just so I can
Okay.
understand, and now I understand. So they refer to them as First Nations.
First
So
Nation.
basically,
Yes.
First Nations. So basically, they were the ones that were there before anybody else out there in Australia, and unfortunately, they might not be treated as well. To be honest, I was thinking that, of course, us being in America, I'm automatically thinking that Darren would have it worse, out there, being that he does have African a
Blood.
genealogy and
Yes.
blood and kinks and everything in his hair.
Hmm.
Like, no, I don't know how much worse. I'm trying to gather from this show. I'm
It
not
seems
really
like it
familiar.
might be worse.
It might be
I would
worse
think that it
when it
might be
comes
worse.
down to the First Nations. But when he saw her, and she even gave him
Her
that
necklace.
feather, yeah,
Yes.
feather necklace. And it's like, now that I'm talking about it and looking at it, it's like, okay, I'm getting it. Now, please, anybody from Australia, if we do need any correction, any
Hmm.
kind of insight, go ahead and put that down in the chat, put that in the comments, let us know so that we can be further informed, because we are not above reproach.
No, we are not. So then we have a scene in the bathroom where Quinny is washing her hands. Harper just finished using the bathroom herself. And Quinny's like, I'm proud of you for doing what you did during that class. That was so brave. And, Quinny's like, I wish I could be that brave. And Harper's like, why don't you? And Quinny says, I don't think people would like me if I was brave. What did you think of Quinny saying that?
It's transparent and true. That's the fear of stating what you want. You're afraid that people are not going to like you because you are making it known that
Assertive.
that you're being assertive, that you
Hmm.
are drawing a line. People don't like lines. People like to do what they want to do rather than being told what they want to do. But when it comes to you and how you would like to move, you have to create those lines, and they have to abide by it. And all they can do, like Quinny is doing to Harper, is respect it.
Exactly.
And they can respect her too. Do what you
Right.
want. Say what you
Exactly.
need to say.
All right, so now category is Virgin Vogue. Bring it in an all white look. So Darren gets on the stage, does their voguing thing, is voguing down, giving hand performance. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to do it. I do it so terribly. But anyways, he's giving all of that. Does a nice dip at the end, and we hear 10, 10, 10, and then a chop. Why does Darren get chopped? Because Darren is not wearing any white
Any
at
white
all
attire.
whatsoever.
And I'm
You
pretty sure it's because he couldn't afford to get a whole outfit right beforehand. You know what I'm
I'm thinking
saying?
maybe he didn't know that white was needed for this particular category. I
You
think
know
he just
what?
got up there.
That's what's right. Because nobody else in there is wearing an all white outfit.
Nobody.
Not even the people that's hosting.
Oh,
No
okay.
one was wearing white, all the way
No
white.
one. So, anyways, Darren finishes their Vogue, and Darren, meets up with the girls, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you were so good, you were so good," and I'm excited at this moment too. And Darren's like, "This is the best night of my life," and then he's hugging that they're hugging the girls, and then Jacob, who we saw in the first episode, who was Darren's hookup plaything, you know
And
what I'm
a
saying?
little disrespectful.
Who, Jacob or Darren?
Jacob.
Oh, okay. In what way?
Cause the way he treated him. Yeah, he stole your thing, but he bought it back. Chill out.
Okay. Didn't bring back your little froggy thing, but he brought
Okay.
everything else back.
It was a cat, little cat thing.
It was a cat thing. Yeah, the one with the moving
Yeah.
arms. Yeah. So Jacob comes to congratulate Darren, saying, and Jacob is wearing wings. I love Jacob doing the attire.
Little
Anyways,
wingies.
so Jacob is talking to Darren, and Jacob is like, how have you been? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't think they've seen each other since Darren left
That night.
Jacob's room that night.
Yeah.
So Darren is like, what you doing here? And why are you talking to me? And he doesn't say, they don't say that, but this is the vibe, the face and the body language is giving. Then we have
what's going on?
Cash, who's actually behind Darren and Jacob. Cash sees this, and Cash just kind of backs up and like doesn't feel like Cash belongs in the room or belongs in the space or whatever. So Cash then walks off. And then Cash sees one of his friends, one of the gang members. Not sure what this gang member is doing in the LGBTQIA plus festivity. But
drugs.
Oh, well, yeah, probably selling drugs. And so Cash, I failed to mention that Cash is wearing one of Darren's thongs on his face to cover up the fact that he has a black eye.
He did ask a very pertinent question.
Is this going to give me pink eye?
Yeah, that's the question right there. Is it washed? Go ahead, Jonathan. I'm sorry.
It's clean, honey. Is it tied fresh, honey? Okay. Fresh out the dryer, child. And so Cash's friend says, that leader of the gang, he's a psycho, man, and gives Cash some dap. So that was great. At least Cash has an ally in this group.
At least.
And that was good for me to see. Then Darren walks up behind Cash and says, I thought I was great. And Cash is like, yeah, you were great. And Darren's like, well, I couldn't find you. You know what I'm saying? And Cash was like, oh, well, I saw you were talking to that other lad and I didn't want to interrupt. And Darren's like, oh, interrupt what? Wait a minute. There's nothing happening between me and Jacob here, now, or in the indefinite future. Okay, nothing going on there. And Cash was like, oh, okay, all right. So Cash had a little bit of jealousy, just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay, because Cash is interested in Darren. And so Darren was like, well, let me make it up to you. So then they run off. And so then we have Sasha and Quinny. Sasha's like trying to get to Quinny. She's asking Quinny, what's wrong? What's going on? And Quinny says, it really sucked that you bailed on me as far as that pregame is concerned. And Sasha was like, well, the boys were going on and on and on about things. And, I just got caught up with the drinks with Missy and all this stuff. And, excuses. Mm-hmm. And then Quinny's like, well, the fact that you wanted to make that decision for me not to take those drugs, I make decisions for myself. I'm responsible for me. I don't need you to make those decisions for me. Respect boundaries. I understand you were trying to make boundaries, but you got to respect boundaries at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So then Sasha apologizes. Sasha is high, by the way, due to the cocaine. Okay. And so
I'm sure some liquor as well.
Of course. And Sasha says, I really care about you a lot, and you mean a whole lot to me, and like I love you. I really, really love you. And Quinny's like, you're high. And Sasha's like, yes, I am high. And Quinny returns the favor and says, I love you too. What did you think of that scene? Because it was so up and down. First they're arguing, and then they're telling each other they love each other.
But this is what happens when you have good conversation, Jonathan. Clarifying conversation really gives you understanding. And when you start to understand somebody, it's like, okay, we can get this right. We're coming and understanding how each other feel. You start feeling the love. That's how I think.
Absolutely.
So ain't come out of nowhere.
Right. So then we see Darren and Cash. They've run off from this drag queen that was holding something that kind of looked like a lit up penis. I don't know. It was a lit up penis. And so they took that and ran. And they've gone over to a different part of the club. And
did you notice they got it because it's white, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so then Cash asked Darren, "Can I kiss you?" And Darren says, "Yes, please." So they kissed. They actually kissed twice. It was a beautiful moment. Did you see this coming, Jennifer?
Yes. How could you not?
Right. And what are your feelings about Cash and Darren and the beginning of what seems like a relationship would be for them?
I think it's cute, but I'm one of those kind of people. I like to sit back and see how it goes. let's see how it goes. But I certainly endorse it, though. Let's see what's going on with you guys.
Right. So we get this kind of a montage of all three of our couples dancing in the moonlight. We've got Darren and Cash, we've got Malachi and A. Marie, and we've got Quinny and Sasha. It's a beautiful thing. All the couples on episode 4 out of 8 are in a really good space at this moment. So that's really good to see.
I'm sure all of
So
it's gonna tear down and go to heck.
we will see. We'll
I don't
see.
want nobody to be happy around there.
Okay, not if it's a drama, honey. Okay, or dramedy in this case, because this is drama and comedy.
Yeah.
So then the party is closed up. Everybody's walking out of the premises, out of the venue, and we have the cops here. We noticed that the cops were here at the beginning when we first got to the place. Ooh, excuse me.
Oh God.
So we have Amory and Malachi. They're walking together. They're doing little cute stuff, having cute conversation. And Malachi's like, you haven't answered my question yet. You know what I'm saying? You haven't told me whether you wanted to go out with me or not. And Amory's still not answering the question. And we've got a cop, a police officer that's walking behind them, telling them, time to go, shoot, fly. Malachi's really high and kind of inebriated. So Malachi goes off at the mouth and he's like, "Ooh, we've got the party pooper here to poop the party." Okay. Then the cop says, get out of here. Get out of here. Malachi curses at him. I don't remember exactly what he
He
said.
didn't even really curse at him. It's something that could have been brushed off, but racism.
Right. Okay. And so after Malachi curses at the cop
He didn't curse
grabs.
him.
He did say a curse word.
Oh, okay, but he didn't curse directly at him, no.
Not at him. He didn't say like F off or F you. He didn't say
Yeah,
one of those things, but he did
yeah.
drop the F bomb, just kind
Okay,
of passing in passing. But
yeah.
anyway, so then in response to that, the cop grabs Malachi and slams him onto the
On
ground.
his
And
back.
this causes a whole ruckus. Were you expect? Well, I guess if you saw the warning at the beginning of the episode, I guess you would have been expecting it. Did you notice that they put a warning at the
No,
beginning?
I did see the warning, but I didn't expect it at that moment. I didn't see. Well, okay, I expect something would happen, but I didn't think he would body slam him like that. And like totally unprovoked, like
It looked painful.
just like you were saying, Jonathan. We watch a whole lot of videos of police officers and things of that nature.
Right.
It takes a good minute before we even get close to a space like that, and for it to
Right.
happen that way, it's like, you know what?
So quickly. So then Malachi and Avery, as well as Harper, Dusty, Ant, and Spider, they're all kind of together at this point. And Avery's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And then she asked, did anybody film it? Did anybody film it? Ant is the one that actually filmed it. Ant sends it to Amory. And Amory's like, okay, I gotta post this. I gotta post this. And Malachi's like, no, don't post it. I'll get ish for it. Don't post that. And Amory's like,
And
but
nothing's gonna
people,
happen to the dude.
right? And and Amory's like, people need to know. People need to be aware of what these cops are doing to you guys because of racism. And Malachi's like, no, nothing ever happens to them. They don't ever get anything for it. It'll all come back on me. Then Spider interjects and says, well, maybe you shouldn't have cursed at him. And everybody says, shut the F up, Spider!
The moment was needed, and they were all collective as they should have been. Go ahead,
Okay.
Jonathan. We losing time.
Yeah, I understand that. And so then Malachi asked Amory to get out of his life, get away from me
F off, get
because
away.
she posted it
It
after he
was
told her not
accidental.
to post it. It was
Mhm.
accidental, and she tried to delete it. And so Malachi walks off or storms
Literally
off
runs
rather.
off.
Runs off, yes, he does. And Harper says to Amory, "Don't let him just walk away. Don't let him just walk away."
It looked like she wanted to say, like you just did, like you did me.
Right. And then Amory says, "Well, you heard him. It's over." And so we then see Malachi running off into running down the street and crying. He's really, really upset about this happening to him. And then we see Harper and Dusty actually run over to him to comfort him. What did
Hmm.
you think of their gesture to comfort Malachi, clearly in
It, it
his
was
time
it
of
was really
need?
sweet. I hated that A. Marie gave up. I
Yeah,
hated that she gave up so easily. Well, I can't say easily because he really came at her. He really said "f off," "leave
he
me alone,"
did.
all that stuff. But
I don't know if I'd
it's
want to approach someone after they tell me that. you
But
know?
you have to be aware of the moment though.
Right.
He's doing this, he's saying this not in a straight mind. He's in a way that he's just really upset about what happened, and now that you did this as well, it's like that she would have been best to go after him for sure.
Yeah. So then we see a shot of A. Marie, and she's sitting on the sidewalk, and she's in
Crying.
tears.
Mm-hmm.
She is in tears. And so then we see a shot of Darren and Cash. It looks like they're on a boardwalk type of thing. They're sitting on a sidewalk, and they're
Chilling,
just
enjoying life.
chit chatting, kissing. Doing the stuff that they do. It's really really sweet. Then
Yeah.
we get back to Harper's room. We have Dusty,
That was not
Harper.
Harper's room. That was because as you can see, that room was light and clean. That was Dusty's room.
Okay, so it was Dusty's room. Child, I'm glad you know. And so we have Dusty, Harper, and Malachi in the room. Malachi has his head back into Harper's lap. Dusty is rolling up a joint, rolling up a
Mm-hmm.
blunt. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna smoke good. Okay, get this off our minds or whatever. Pass the time. Then we have Dusty sitting next to Harper. Malachi sitting on the floor, sitting next to Harper on the bed. Um, I think it was Dusty that took Harper's hand and put it onto Malachi's shoulder. Malachi turns around and it's almost like he's a little bit confused. So then Harper kisses Malachi.
Mm-hmm.
Harper looks at Dusty. Dusty looks at Malachi, kisses Malachi, and then we have a full on threesome going on. What were your thoughts when you saw this?
Pull out that text message and read it out loud.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Why is it that you felt this way?
I'm over it because it's just going to create problems. It's like they want to wake up in the morning and have problems always. So yes, that's why I didn't like that. That's why I was done with it. That's why you got that text message.
Gotcha. Yeah. And whose fault is it in this case, in your
Whose
opinion?
fault? I think Dustin provoked it. Dusty, I mean.
Mm. How
It's like
so?
how so? He's the one that took Harper's hand and did like that.
Yeah.
Come on. He initiated it. He basically with by doing that, he basically said to Harper, "Hey, let's do this. Let's enjoy ourselves tonight. We all
With
high. Let's
Malachi.
do it." Yeah,
Yes. Yes. So that was it for episode 4, you guys, of Heartbreak High. We'll be back with episode 5 next week.
it was
You
too
guys,
much.
it was. I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was really light for the most part.
There's a
Um,
lot that I was over. But once again, I hold on for you, Jonathan.
Absolutely. You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is JonathanLee@gmail.com. I do have my own YouTube channel. It is JoJo Speaks. I post videos every Thursday night at 9:30 with hot topics and social commentary. Join myself, Jennifer, Tyrone, and Mike every Thursday night at 9:30. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. JoJo Speaks on YouTube, Thursday nights at 9:30. Join us, y'all.
All right. And also, I am the Live of the Leo. Just go ahead and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Light of the Leo. Just type that in, no spaces, and you'll be able to find me very quickly. Well, you guys, it's been marvelous. Thank you guys for joining us for this spoiler review of a story I didn't feel like listening to, telling, or anything like that, but it's some moments. Anywho, we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.